We knew almost immediately that this was the place. This site where the house is was a forest completely. So we had to clear that to make the lot in order to move the original part of this house, which was 1813, and it had to be dismantled and moved up here. One thing led to another as far as getting things correct for our family and also being very respectful for the land. We didn't want to have a big clear cut. We'd put so much of ourselves into this house and sacrificed a lot, frankly. I wanted them to think this was always someplace they could come back to and it was home.
My name's Katie Kidder, and I was born here in Keene, the youngest of 3 siblings and the only true native, as my family likes to say. We lived on our bikes and riding the horses to the bus stop or feeding the animals, having friends come up and experience what I got to experience every day, which at that point I was so young, I took it for granted. I don't take any of this for granted now. Everything up here is homemade. It was the way it should be.
The first Thanksgiving that we had here, the floor in the dining room was just a subfloor. We hadn't even put down a real floor yet. So we got this really ugly rug, threw it down, put corn stalks in the corner, and we had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and that was the beginning of Thanksgivings here for the next 40-some years, 46, 7 years.
The Christmas tree was always right here, and we were always sitting around, and I mean, we lived on these floors. You know, if it was opening Christmas presents, if it was toasting marshmallows in the fireplace, or, you know, drinking hot chocolate.
Everybody needs stability, but children, especially when they're younger, have to know that there's still going to be stability, whether it's with the house or with yourself. If they feel that they can count on that, they feel trusted too.
I was sitting in my house in Boston and had this moment of like, now, what am I waiting for? And I sold my house in Boston, and right before I did that, I called my mom and said, I want to move here. And I do not look back at all. I mean, the minute I pulled up the driveway yesterday, it just was like, I'm home.
It means that your work was well fought and it was properly done, and that your values are passed on to the next generation. I always felt very warm and comfortable in my house. A lot of it was because of the wood. It looks more lived in. It looks lived in, and that takes age.
Some of my earliest memories are actually the floor going in the kitchen and crawling around on the floor. And that's really quite something, because I think that really is my first memory of being up here on the hill. Literally grew up on these exact floors that are here today, that are going to be here forever. Your feet are rooted to these floors, which are rooted to this home.
I feel like these boards are old friends. They've stood by me, and I've had a lot of fun times here and some sad times, but it's constant. It's just constant. To me, so much of wood tells the story of a life, and I think this wood is telling the story of my life and how it got here and stayed here, and passing it on to the next generation. Makes me feel as though I did the right thing, and I think the wood is standing by me as well, as I stood by it. A lot of life, and I hope a lot more still coming.